on shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday. My holidays were merry and bright, but thank you so much for coming back for some more Oh No America. Thank you. I'm your host, Nora. We are here in the Garage live. Thank you. To, discuss Project 2025, which frankly, guys, I haven't thought about for 2 whole days since I've been off and just turned my phone and everything off. Yeah, that was fun. But it's Friday. And we're about to go into another weekend here this year because New Year's is like in the middle of the week, which kind of sucks. We have 2 New Year's weekends, right? So this is like New Year's Eve weekend. And then next week is like, post New Year's weekend. So I don't know if you guys experience this. I just drove around a bit today, but like there are popos everywhere right now. I don't know why that is that they get like a bonus for the holiday season or something, but like, why don't we just have that level of safety all the time? I don't understand that. But yeah, I hope you guys had a fantastic holiday. Whatever you celebrate, it is still Hanukkah. First night of Hanukkah was, of course, on Christmas night. So there's a lot of 'tis the season, and we're gonna have 2025 coming up. Let's see if we can get this thing finished before 2025. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for being here. And let's just let's not belabor the point too much, but let's just dive in. So what we've got here is we're still we're still in it. We're on page 89, y'all. So that's pretty good. We're at the Council of Economic Advisors. All right. So Congress established the Council of Economic Advisors in 1946, y'all, to advise the president on economic policy. I'm sorry, I don't know what my dogs are barking at right now. I apologize. I don't. Hang on one second. Let me ask a teen to get them under control. I don't know why this is like a thing where you can't, like they can't hear the dogs. I don't know. But it would be great as a parent if sometimes hello? Sammy? Hey, can you get the dogs under control, please, sweetheart? Okay, thank you. Bye. Anyway, that's frustrating, but let's carry on. So it was established in 1946 to advise the president on economic policy based on data, research, and evidence. Fabulous. The CEA is one of the oldest congressionally credited offices within the White House complex and plays a broad role in bringing economic expertise to administration policy across a large range of policy areas. The CEA has 1 presidentially appointed and 1 and Senate confirmed chair. So the president appoints it and the Senate confirms it. And 2 presidentially appointed members who assist and often have expertise that complements the chair, and approximately 40 staff employees. That's a lot. So you have a chair, 2 members, that's 3 people. And then somehow these 3 people need 40 staff. That's a lot for 3 people. I'm just going to say. I think that's excessive, but that's just me. Statutorily, the CEA is charged with being the president's principal source of economic advice. However, this role has diminished over time, and its policy appraisal and especially formulation and recommendation functions have been taken over or diluted by the other economic policy bodies within the White House. By law, the CEA is required to publish an annual economic report of the president within 10 days after submission of the budget. This report is not just a messaging document. It's an opportunity to provide greater rigor in support of policy areas that the White House is prioritizing and to build up the external credibility of those ideas. There we go. A future conservative administration should utilize the CEA as the senior internal White House economist, much as the White House counsel's office functions as the senior internal White House lawyers. This does not mean there are no economists in other offices. There are, just as there are often lawyers in the policy councils and other White House offices. But the CEA's role, like the White House counsel's, is to employ its unique expertise, particularly on the technical side, to ensure that sound analysis is contributing to and shaping the policy discussion. Okay, so this is a department, so far what I'm gleaning here, this is a department that already exists, that is underutilized, apparently in today's world. And this Project 2025 is honing in on this department to focus the economic powers of this department. I don't know, because I haven't read this in advance. So let's see. In practice, this means that CEA staff do not coordinate the policy process in the way that the DPC or the NEC would, but they should be integral to the EOP's policy development process. CEA staff should support sound policy development and execution by actively contributing to running policy dialogues, proactively raising issues that need to be addressed, consulting on questions that arise, and guiding EOP and agency officials on the analytical foundations of policy. Structurally, the White House Chief of Staff should ensure that the CEA has a seat at the policymaking table on all relevant policy. Okay. Interesting. So they don't want all this crosstalk. They want this department to handle specific economic policy. Who are they proposing for that? Who are Trump's picks for that? Okay. Stephen Miran. Who is this guy? Who's Stephen Miran and why he used to be in Treasury? So as an American economist, he's a senior strategist at Hudson Bay Capital Management, of course, co-founder of the asset management firm Amber Wave Partners. Amber Wave Partners. I'm sorry. And an adjunct fellow at the Manhattan Institute. In December 2024, President-elect, the CEA. Okay. He was Treasury Senior Advisor from 2020 to 2021 under Steve Mnuchin. Remember that guy? Steve Mnuchin. He's not bringing back the mooch, the Manooch. He's going with this guy. Okay, we don't have a picture of this guy. He's an anomaly. All right, fine. Senior economists traditionally have not gone through the official presidential personnel process and more often are not hired on academic year cycle. As a result, senior economists hired in the summer of a presidential election year tend to remain on staff until the next summer, even if a president from the opposite party takes power and installs a new slate of CEA political appointees for chair members, blah, blah, blah. Although these hiring practices create some continuity, the presence of senior economists who are never fully vetted for their alignment with White House policy objectives or who were holdovers from a recently departed administration can breed skepticism and distrust of the CEA by other units. Okay, so again, new broom sweeping clean. We're getting rid of everybody, right? House creating the risk that the CEA's role in the policymaking process will be diminished. A future administration should consider hiring that reflects the White House calendar mid-January and involves the Office of Presidential Personnel, OPP. Okay, fine. So that's the guy they want. They're not bringing back the Minuch. The National Space Council, guys. Space, the final frontier. The National Space Council is responsible for providing advice and recommendations to the president on the formulation and implementation of space policy and strategy. It's charged with conducting a whole of government approach to the nation's space interests, civil, military, intelligence, commercial, or diplomatic. I mean, guys, if we're going to have unchecked, unfettered capitalism, we may as well start doing that in space. Jesus Christ. Diplomatic. Who are we sending? Who are the space diplomats? That's what I want to know. Who are the space diplomats? Can I nominate some space diplomats? Can I nominate some representatives of Earth? I want you guys to chime in. Here's the people who I want to go, like in our little shuttle that we bring up to meet the aliens, or like the people that are going to go and like shake the hand of the alien. Trump is off the list. I don't want him to go talk to anybody about anything. But here's who I would personally pick as representatives of Earth. Okay, I'm going to go with Sir Anthony Hopkins, Sir Patrick Stewart. We're gonna go with Kate Winslet, okay, and then we're gonna get Lupita Nyong'o, okay, and also I would like to have now I forget her name. She was the first woman in the FBI who I just watched the whole documentary about, Mastermind, Think Like a Killer, who like she's the whole reason why we have profiling. Oh, for crying in a bucket. This lady right here, but I'm trying to look at her. Look at her. This lady's still going. She's in her 80s. She's still working cases. She's still working. Ann Burgess. Thank you. Dr. Ann Burgess. Okay. And also Dakota Fanning. Okay. Why? Because she's just a national treasure. And maybe we'll send Caitlin Clark up there. She can, show them some basketball. Okay. But like these, that's who I'm picking. Okay. That's my rep. Oh, and Lucy Liu, who I love, who's also a strong, badass woman. Who there's so many people. There's so many people that I would pick to go up to be the representative, and we have to send Morgan Freeman. Like, he's the voice of every generation. And Katie Porter and her whiteboard. Thank you. She could be the American government representative. She could just whiteboard it out, all of our problems. Please don't, please don't obliterate us or enslave us. We'll make it better. But like literally, do we have these people picked out? I don't want any I'm sorry, guys. I don't want super military people showing up with weapons, because that's just like hostile. That's just hostile. Okay. It's just not, it's not a good look. It's not, I don't want that, but that's what I'm thinking, Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. But see, you know what? I want him at like the dinner party. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's first impression material, but I want him to be part of it because he's fucking amazing and I love him. But I don't know. Maybe, he's great. He'll do it. He's up for anything, right? Can you imagine? I would just love to see a live reaction. Samuel L. Jackson, you're being called to service of the world because there's aliens and they want to talk to you. Oh, I would love it. I would love it. That would be the greatest thing of all time. All right. Historically, it's been chaired by the vice president at the president's direction, and its members consist of members of cabinet and other senior executive branch officials as specified by President Executive Order 13803. The NSPC's, okay, because it's space, SP, space. Purpose is to ensure that the president's priorities relative to space are carried out and, as necessary, to resolve policy conflicts among departments and agencies. Space projects and programs are risky, complex, expensive, and time-consuming. Sounds like raising children. Although commercial space innovations are lowering costs and accelerating schedules. Yeah, thank you, Elon. Like, this is a love letter to Elon. Nevertheless, while fiscal discipline should not be ignored, long-term policy stability is crucial to investors. Look, notice how they put investors first, not the industry, not agencies, investors, innovators, industry, and agencies. And I'm Eric. Look, God. Policy stability is easier when policies and programs are aligned with long-term what? I'm losing this sentence completely. Policy stability is easier when policies and programs are aligned with long-term national interests as opposed to those of particular advocacy groups or political factions. National interest, guys. America first. Yeah. Okay. Oh, guys, also don't forget, if you do want me to answer your questions or comments at the end of today's episode, please do put comment or question at the beginning, because then I have to search for that in my special chit chat here. Thank you. Because my mods, they can't star anything. That's the problem with Talk to Ecamm. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, so they don't want this to be a political thing. They just want them to be totally in control. So how are they, how are they divvying this up here? The Trump administration's major space policies, including Space Force, the Artemis program. What is the Artemis program? And to land the next Americans on the moon. Is that what that is? It's the new space program? With NASA's Artemis campaign, we are exploring the moon for scientific discovery, technology advancement, and to learn how to live and work on another world as we prepare for human missions to Mars. We'll collaborate with commercial and international partners and establish the first long-term presence on the moon. Have they just been watching the Apple TV Plus show For All Mankind? And they're like, bro, why didn't we do that? Like, why don't we have people just like living on the moon? Like, that show says it happened in the 50s and the 60s or something, like old-timey. And that like by now we should have like a whole colony. Like, what's up? I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic show if you haven't watched it. But I'm pretty sure most of this is just taken, like somebody watched all 5 seasons of The Handmaid's Tale. I'm just on season 1. And then they watched For All Mankind and they're like, we're doing that, right? Like, make it so. To land the next Americans on the moon and support for a strong commercial space sector. Because, guys, our bridges are literally falling apart here on Earth, but let's get people to explore space. Just like in The Fifth Element, like we're just going to have fucking space cruises before we can get non-pothole roads. What the fuck? Oh my God. And support for a strong commercial space sector have endured under the Biden administration. Oh, some flowers for Biden. Major challenges remain in implementation and regulatory reform to keep up with rapidly evolving space markets and competitors. Now, please pump the brakes. Did anyone else here know that there is a rapidly evolving space market? And what does that mean? Are we already in bargains? Have we formed a union with the aliens? What is going on? What does this even mean? Rapidly evolving space market. I think I need to tighten this chair up. I'm pretty sure that is indicative of a yes. Okay. What is the what? These include the long-term sustainability of space activities in light of increasing orbital debris. Yeah, y'all, we are creating our own ring. We just have satellites up there that are dead. The fucking shuttles have ejected poop and other stuff out there. There is so much space debris right now encircling our planet Okay, if you guys haven't seen Wall-E in a while, go look at that, because that's a for real picture of what the fuck is happening outside our Earth right now. It's almost a live picture. Creation of space situational awareness services for civil and commercial uses. Space situational awareness services. Guys, we just barely got a mental health hotline that's nationwide. And now we're going to have space situational awareness services. Yeah. Should we know when aliens are here or not? Should we know if those fucking orbs are real? If the drones are aliens or ours? Sure. I think we probably should. But also, like, we don't, guys, when we're monitoring the skies, we're not even seeing 100% of the space surrounding us 100% of the times, because we haven't even set up enough telescopes around the world to do that. My grandfather, Dr. R. Edward Nather, was a pioneer in this and helped develop what's called the Whole Earth Telescope. Okay? Right? And it set up telescopes around the world so that the monitoring of the sky is better. But like, we literally still don't have enough. We still can't see enough. We still haven't put enough big things out there to see what the fuck. Oh my God. But we're going to have a whole department for it. So that what? Like, we can sit at home with like a little device, like, oh, here they come. Like, what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that? Management of mega constellations. I'm sorry. Management of mega constellations. Do they not know how science works? Are billionaires just buying constellations? You can't buy a constellation. Space it's not for sale. Do we have space real estate agents? Can I get a space real estate license? Can I start selling people mega constellations? Or are they telling us that life is actually in those mega constellations, right? And we're going to manage that? How do we always think we're in charge? We haven't even gone past the moon with people yet. And now we're going to manage constellations that are billions of light years away? The audacity of straight white men right now. Like, the audacity is just dripping in audacity right now. Licensing of new commercial remote sensing capabilities. Okay. So NASA's not going to hog that for themselves. Fuck you guys. Everybody is going to be monitoring it. We're just going to license that shit out. Apple's going to sell it soon. You get your Apple Space Monitor. Monitor it from your watch. Oh my God. Keeping up with licensing demands due to high launch rates. Where are the high launch rates? What do we send a shuttle up? We don't even have, we have like 2 places to launch shuttles from. Is every town going to be a launch site now? We're just, you get a launch site, you get a launch pad, you get a launch pad. What is going on? Are we just sending construction crews up to the moon to construct this? Like, we're just, just pick some people up from Home Depot and put them in an astronaut suit? Is that what we're doing? What is happening? Transitioning International Space Station operations to multiple privately owned space platforms. Here it is. Here's the unfettered capitalism. And most important, accelerating the acquisition and fielding of national security space capabilities in response to an increasingly aggressive China. Okay, so let me get this straight. What space capability? Are we finally going to do Star Wars that we were promised in the 80s from Reagan? Are we going to get our space ray gun or what? Right? Is it happening? Are we getting the space ray gun? That's what I want to know. Is that happening? Okay. If for those of you guys who didn't grow up in the 80s, you probably didn't see the movie Real Genius with Val Kilmer, one of his best movies. Okay. And he makes a space laser. Space laser to murder people from space. Is that what we're getting? I don't know. Like, I feel like we're just throwing darts at all the ideas that came out of every movie and TV show in the last 50 years to figure out our policy here. This is ridiculous. Also, how is China aggressive to us? Like, please, I'm serious. I have not seen any, literally any aggression from China other than TikTok taking over the minds of the entire youth. What other aggression is happening? You don't see Xi Jinping, be like, okay, so tomorrow we are just wiping out America. Okay, everyone, that's on the agenda. Fabulous, fabulous. Like, I don't feel like that's what's happening, right? I don't get it. The vice president should have clear understanding with the National Security Advisor and the White House counsel that they and their respective staffs will work within the White House to determine the scope and leadership of policy reviews that can overlap multiple areas of responsibility. A similar understanding is necessary with the heads of the other policy councils, such as the NEC, DPC, and National Science and Technology Council. As a result of the president's direction and the vice president's leadership, NSPC under the Trump administration was able to coordinate a wide range of, let's go very carefully to the next page. Oh, good. Okay. Space agency reviews, legislative proposals, and regulatory reforms smoothly. The NSPC generally led on space issues with the EOP, but other White House offices also took on space topics. As a member of the NSPC and in coordination with other members, the Office of Science Technology Policy developed a national space weather strategy, research and development plans to mitigate the effects of orbital debris and protocols for planetary protection to avoid biological contamination of celestial bodies. Okay. So is that just because human poop is absolutely toxic and disgusting? Or how do we biologically contaminate a celestial body? I don't understand. What? Oh my goodness, guys. I think one of my kids gave me a cold. So over it. The Council of Economic Advisors did research on the economic benefits of space property rights. Of course they did. Of course they did. Of course they did. OMB's Office of Information and Regulatory Reform updated and streamlined commercial launch licensing and commercial remote sensing satellite rules. Now, I know that we've been seeing a lot of news about the drones and about these orbs and all this stuff nationally, and nobody's quite sure. No one's taking responsibility for the drones or the orbs. And let's face it, our policymakers are not telling us whether they are terrestrial or extraterrestrial in nature. Nobody knows. Nobody can figure it out. It's a whole mystery, right, as to what this is, why it is, who's doing it, where did they come from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but now, some of the footage that you guys may have seen on social media, like you see, it looks like the beginning of the Transformers movie where it's like a burst and then like there's a bunch of other, it literally looks like the Transformers beginning when they're entering the atmosphere, right? That is space debris. There are scheduled self-detonations, right, of satellites once they go kaput, once they are, too old to continue functioning, right? So they literally have them, explode themselves, and then that's the satellite entering, into the Earth's atmosphere and burning up, hopefully, before it all comes crashing down on human beings, right? So they try to time that apparently over, no, low populated areas and things like that, in case it doesn't all, vaporize. But it is literally like they don't tell us anything. Like we're all on edge. They said, "Oh, the aliens are real. They're in the ocean," right? And then we're seeing now everyone's seeing orbs. Everyone's just out filming the ocean, doing these things, or seeing the things everywhere. And on top of that, they don't tell us like, "Oh, hey, that's a planned satellite. We have planned satellite destruction over Pennsylvania tonight. So if you see lights in the sky, that's just planned, satellite poo poo." You know, but the space debris that is circling our Earth in low Earth orbit right now is very bad. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that is literally encircling us, guys, 24/7. Satellites that have been there since the 50s. That are just still out there floating around. They're not ever going to come down, unless like a shuttle mission goes to like retrieve it and get it and then bring it back as the payload on their, on their mission. So this is, this is just more capitalism. While we are maintaining the status quo of like aliens are real now, but we're not going to tell you anything about that because we don't know. We don't know. Right. So, yeah. But we did get Space Force under Trump. That's a real thing. It's a real administration that's here. That's part of our lives now. Space Force. Yes. And they have real bases in California and Colorado. And yeah. Space Force. Yep. Space Force. Okay, during the Trump administration, if a topic were purely military, such as standing up the U.S. Space Command, the NSC took the lead. If a topic cut across military, civil, and commercial sectors, as was the case with cybersecurity in space, guys, we can't even do cybersecurity here on the ground. Now we have cybersecurity in space. Can we just have people stop hacking our telecommunication companies? Can we just start there? Can we just not, for once, have all of our personal information from, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile just thrown to whoever can figure out that the password for the whole entire server farm for everyone is password 123 exclamation point. Like, please, can we just do that? Can we just maybe have some nice things for once? For once. Trusted collegial relationships across the White House complex are critical to successful space policy development, implementation, and oversight. Nowhere is this more important than in the relationship between NSSPC and OMB, staff who oversee civil and national security related space spending. Of course, it's most important where the money comes from. Teamwork between space and the personnel, the budget rather, staff can communicate clear presidential priorities to departments and agencies, facilitating smooth development of the president's budget request. They have many opportunities to collaborate in promoting presidential priorities while finding offsets and lower priority programs and funding lines. So they're going to cut the fat from lower priority programs and funding lines like SNAP, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Cut that chafe, get it out. Okay. Because space. Okay. So what this tells me is that by appointing your loyal people here for space and the budget, now this budget person is going to be like, Daddy wants a new spaceship. And so we're going to have to cut Medicare. No more SNAP. Who are these mothers who can't afford diapers? Fuck them. We are going to space. Jesus Christ. Office of Science and Technology Policy. Now, guys, I do want to say one thing real quick here. Okay. I am not opposed to us actually doing some real research and funding for space. I think the fact that the moon program ended in the 70s and we didn't keep exploring and we didn't keep innovating has really fucked us technologically and, as a species, right? We should be, I mean, if you watch For All Mankind, we should be ready for other stuff by now. Okay. Because we halted ourselves at that moment and we didn't, the innovation has come from Elon Musk. And it's just like he basically zhuzhed up the rockets that we had, and now they can land on their own, which is very cool and they can be reused. However, we're still using what? Oh, yes, fossil fuels to fuel these motherfucking rockets in that whole 40, 50-year timeline. Okay, practically. We have not come up with a new innovative interstellar, fuel. Like, why? We're still relying on fossil fuels to get to space, which is why we're never going anywhere, because it will take 3,000 bajillion years to get there in a ship fueled by fossil fuels. And also, the amount of fossil fuel that you have to carry on that ship in order to get from here to Mars is way too much. It's way too much. So we really got to come up with something better. Like the innovation there has just stopped. So I'm not opposed to that, but I don't think that other programs suffer, right, at the excitement of space, right? Children still need lunch. Kids still need food when, they're economically strapped, right? That's how I don't feel like you should cut something to put something else in. I feel like if you're going to raise this money, tax the billionaires, tax the rich, make them pay their fair share, and then you fucking we'll have all the money for all your fun shit. There you go. All right. So the Office of Science and Technology Policy, OSTP. White House Office of Science and Technology Policy was created by the National Science and Technology Policy Organization and Priorities Act of 1976. When I was born, y'all, so it's 48 years old. Okay? This is what I'm saying. Like, this is an ineffective department right here. I'm just going to say it. Before its creation, presidents received their advice and counsel on such matters through advisors, ew, and boards, gross, that had no statutory authority, ew. The director of OSTP is one of the few Senate-confirmed positions within the executive office of the president. Okay, so who is his nominee for that? Who is his nominee for OSTP? Oh, fun. I want you to close. Thank you. Michael Kratsiosis. Okay, this is a Greek gentleman. And Lynn Parker for tech science roles. 2 selections are veterans of the okay, so these people were here before. Okay, so Michael's going to do that. Kratzios. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm mispronouncing this like Mediterranean last name. I apologize. He was chief technology officer. What the fuck does he know about space? Okay. Bo Hines. Digital it will be focused on crypto. Of course. And this person as a policy advisor for AI. Okay. Wow. And all 4 of these guys are going to work with David Sachs, who of course is a venture capitalist and a former CEO of enterprise social network firm, blah, 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 Yammer, who Trump previously selected as AI crypto czar. What? Oh, he's expected to repeal and replace President Joe Biden's executive order on AI, likely scaling back some of the current administration's approach. Okay. Okay. No, we're not going back. Okay. Consistent with other laws, the president may delegate to the directive authority over the other elements of the executive branch. Other EOP policy officials and organizations such as NSC and NEC are formally only advisory with relevant agencies. Directive. Okay, but hang on a second. Consistent with other laws, the president may delegate to the director of this department, science and technology, directive authority over other elements of the executive branch. What elements would this guy, Michael, be running? And why? What? Oh, I don't like this. The functions as contained in the law are to advise the president of scientific and technological considerations. That makes sense. Evaluate the effectiveness of federal effort and generally lead and coordinate on the federal government's R&D programs. Okay, fine. If science is being manipulated at the agencies to support separate political and institutional agendas, the president should increase the prominence of OSTEP's director. So if science is being manipulated at the agencies to support separate political and institutional agendas, okay, let's get this straight, then the president should increase the prominence of OSTEP's director, either formally or informally. This would elevate the role of science in policy discussions and subsequent outcomes, and theoretically help to balance out agencies like the Department of Energy, State and Commerce, and the Environmental Protection Agency, there it is, and Council on Environmental Quality. So they want to push this particular science person above the Environmental Protection Agency and the Council on Environmental Quality. So if they say, hey, listen, fossil fuels are really, they're kind of a bummer. They're kind of like a big, huge bummer, y'all. And we're kind of like fucking shit up and we really need to like stop. This person's authority will be elevated to the point where they can be like, go fuck yourself. That's what we're doing because science. Okay. Fuck. The OSTEP can also help to bring technical expertise to regulatory matters in support of the office of the budget. So if they're getting pushback on budgetary items for space and AI and cryptocurrency, this guy is going to step in and be like, listen, daddy said what he said. And you know who's in charge here? It's me. Me. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's going to have, Elon and Vivek just over there gutting and cutting as fast as humanly possible. Wow. The OSTEP should continue to play a role, a lead role, in coordinating federal R&D programs, recent legislation, and especially the CHIPS and Science Act has expanded federal policy and funding across the enterprise. Yeah, let's get rid of CHIPS, guys. And there is a need for more significant leadership in this area, both to ensure effectiveness and avoid duplication of effort, as benefiting its location in the White House. Yeah, because he's just going to be there. OSTEP must be concerned with advancing national interests and not merely the parochial concerns of departments, agencies, or parts of the scientific community. Because fuck those scientists. What the fuck do they know? During the Trump and Biden administrations, there's been a bipartisan focus on prioritizing R&D funding and this around the so-called industries of the future. So-called, guys. So-called, because it's not Elon. Everyone else is just so-called. Under President Trump, industries of the future priorities were artificial intelligence, quantum information sciences, advanced communications, 5G. What the fuck did the Trump administration have to do with 5G? Trust me, I was on the 5G evolution at T-Mobile. I didn't hear nothing that Trump was doing that was helping us out. Anyway. Advancing manufacturing and biotechnology. Under President Biden, this list has been expanded to include advanced materials, robotics, battery technology, cybersecurity, green products, and clean technology. plant genetics and agricultural technologies, nanotechnology, and semiconductor and microelectronics technologies. These priorities should be narrowed down, evaluated and narrowed to ensure consistency with the next administration priorities. Yeah, because all this other stuff, robotics, batteries, fuck that. Elon's already got it. He's already got it. Cybersecurity, what? Boop, boop. Who knows? Given a long list of priorities, coordinating efforts across agencies and measuring success are extremely challenging. Yeah, those KPIs are going to be a mess. They're going to be an absolute dog's breakfast. OSIP and OMB are required to work together on an annual basis to prioritize the funding requests and whatever Congress adds on top of them. But there continues to be concern about mission creep. Yeah, creeps. And funds extended to non-scientific R&D. What's non-scientific research and development? Who does that? How is any of that not science? How is any of that science? Not science, rather. R&D. I don't understand that. Anyway. Maybe I misunderstood, but I'm pretty sure all R&D is science. Some kind of science. The president should also issue an executive order to reshape the U.S. Global Change Research Program. Oh, okay. And related climate change research programs. The U.S. GCRP produces strategic plans and research, for example, the National Climate Assessment. Yeah, it's kind of fucking vital, that reduce the scope of legally proper options in presidential decision-making and in agency rulemakings, and adjudications. Also, since much environmental policymaking must run the gauntlet of judicial review, U.S. GCRP actions can frustrate successful litigation defense. What the fuck do we care about defense lawyers right now? In ways that the career bureaucracy should not be permitted to control. Oh, I see. Because we can't have too many environmental regulations because fuck Earth, we're going to Mars. The process for producing assessments should include diverse viewpoints. But I thought you guys were against diversity. I don't know how you do that. The process for producing assessments should include diverse viewpoints. The OSTEP and OMB should jointly assess the independence of the contractors used to conduct much of this outsourced government research that serves as the basis for policymaking. The next president should critically analyze and, if required, refuse to accept any U.S. GCRP assessment prepared under the Biden administration. So if they're the current U.S. GCRP, if they say, right, that we're murdering the earth, we have to move away from fossil fuels altogether, we have to invest more in wind, solar, etc., then yeah, they're gonna just automatically reject it. They're gonna automatically reject it. Yeah. The president should also restore related EOP research components to their purely informational and advisory roles. Right. We just want the paperwork. We don't really actually want to take action. Consistent with the Global Change Research Act of 1990, U.S. GCRP related EOP components should be confined to a more limited advisory role. Right. They don't want them to be policymaking whatsoever. Like once every 2 years, you can come in and be like, Earth is sad. Earth is okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time, Mr. President. Thank you. I'll go back to my closet. The these components should include, but not necessarily be limited to, the OSTEP, the NSTC's Committee on the Environment, the U.S. GCRP's interagency groups, for example, the Carbon Cycle Interagency Working Group, and the Federal Coordinating Council for Science, Engineering, and Technology. As a general matter, the new administration should separate the scientific risk assessment function from the risk management function. Because when you're talking about assessing risk and then managing risk. Make sure those two people don't talk to each other at all, which is the exclusive domain of elected policymakers and the public. Yeah, basically just throw one of those away because we don't really give a fuck. And we're not going to do what they say anyway. Wonderful. Finally, the next administration will face a significant challenge in unwinding policies, and procedures that are used to advance radical. What the fuck does this have to do with space? Radical gender, racial, and equity initiatives under the banner of science. What policies under the banner of science are there? There's no scientific anything for equity. Unless we're talking about like women in space or women in combat or, I don't understand. Similarly, the Biden administration's climate fanaticism, guys, it's fanaticism, will need a whole of government unwinding. As with other federal departments and agencies, the Biden administration's leveraging of the federal government's resources to further the woke agenda, like it's called survival. The woke agenda is apparently bullshit because we want us to live. Further, the woke agenda should be reversed and scrubbed from all policy manuals. This is not, fascism at all, guys. Guidance documents and agendas and scientific excellence and innovation should be restored as OSTEP's top priority. Sure, Jan, sure. Okay, we're gonna pause here, and then we'll talk about the Council on Environmental Quality next time. Let me get to your comments and questions here. Holy shit, guys! There's no opportunity they don't take to say we got to get rid of gender, racial equity, fucking everywhere. Scrub it from the record. Guys, when aliens come to planet Earth, they're going to see people who are different races, right? Because they're not just coming to America. It's not American, what if they went to China first? What if they've always been in China? China's just sending the aliens to us, right? So like if they go to the continent of Africa and they appear there first, which according to tribal legends of many different tribes, that's already happened. But anyway, they're not going to see straight white people there. Like, what if they went to like the continent of Africa? They just landed in Zimbabwe, right? And they land in, like let's say Vietnam, and then they land in India, and they land in, like a weird country like Luxembourg, and then they go to Canada. They just skip us altogether. They go to Argentina. They're going to all these places, but they're like, we've heard some bad things about the Americans, and we just kind of want to stay away. I mean, they all have like their own pew-pews, and they're very violent. Even when they just get in a little tiff on the road, they're like, banging into each other. I feel like not hospitable. We're just going to leave them. I'm not going to share our knowledge with them. They are, bad news bears. I mean, I would predict that that's what happened. Why would they come to America first? Because we stole their spacecrafts and is sitting in Area 51 and we don't want to talk about it. We're not going to talk about that. Not going to talk about Area 51. Not gonna discuss the alien technology that we've been reverse engineering since the 50s. Okay. Just keep that a secret still. Like, that's stupid. Why don't we just fucking show everybody? Why isn't there a parade with the fucking spacecraft? Like, just do it, oh shit, what's that movie with Will Smith? The Independence Day, like just show us the alien already. Oh, good. I muted something that wasn't me. I apologize for blowing my nose in all of your ears just now. I clicked mute on the wrong thing. I apologize, guys. All right, let me look at the comments here. Let's get this rolling. You nominate Jean-Luc Picard? Yes, I'm with that. Yeah, that's Sir Patrick Stewart. And Samuel L. Mofo Jackson. Yes, yes. For All Mankind is awesome. I'm still like on season 2, so I have so much catching up to do. Do not tell me anything. We'll go BattleTech this way because we'll bring our war like nature to the stars. Yeah. Like, can we not? Can we not? We already have payloads parked up there, but I think they're weapons. Yeah, probably. Probably. Maybe we could call on Xenu to collect all that junk as one of his soul catchers. Yeah, that'd be great too. That'd be great. You're thinking in Alien 3 Stitch. This is one of the Aliens movies I did not see, in which they create a slave labor prison. I don't trust human. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This will be constructed with slave labor. Like, give me a break. Yeah, 100%. Also watched Hello Tomorrow. They gave all the money to Tim Apple. Yeah. I have to watch that. I haven't seen that yet. But I swear to God, somebody's just watching these Apple TV Plus shows, right? And they watch The Handmaid's Tale, and then they just constructed this thing. Yeah, it is a bit like lawn darts, Cher. It is a bit like lawn darts space. Right? The space laser popcorn. Yeah. Now that we've moved on from the plot of The Blob. God, that movie is so awful. Yeah, both of them. The Outer Space Treaty would like a word with Project 2025 unless the United States is going to pull out of that. Yeah, sure. Sure. Do you think we're staying in it like the Paris Accord? Like NATO? Come on, Aubrey. Come on. You're smarter than that. It's obviously disgusting that they waste all this money that could be used to do some actual good on this planet, like feeding the starving and homeless and homing the homeless. I hate humans. Yeah. Yeah. Pine Gap near Alice Springs in the center of Australia is probably the most important U.S. intelligence facility outside the U.S. Its functions include space warfare. Pine Gap recently expanded its boundaries in secret. 3 new satellite dishes in 2021 involved Gaza, Ukraine, and a nuclear target if China feels threatened. We are nervous. Yeah, I think there was a whole TV show that I had like put in my to watch thing. It might even be called Pine Gap that was produced here about that. Yes. Yes, there is a Pine Gap TV series, and I meant to watch it. It has 2 seasons. It was supposed to have 2 seasons. It came out in 2018. See, like I told you, like they're literally telling us all the things in the TV. But see, here it is. Pine Gap. It's on Netflix. Watch it. I think it's on my list. So now I need to watch that for sure. But it's about exactly that. Right? It's about the US Australia base. Right? There it is. Pine Gap. So now I'm going to go watch that. I'm going to go binge that season. I guess there's only 1 season because it told too many secrets. Whenever you see something get canceled that's like literally telling the truth on some shit, that they told too much. They told too much. They told too much. It's all about the controversy over 5G and how it affects humans. That's why Dr. Brainworms is tweaking out. Yeah. First of all, guys, as somebody who literally worked on the customer service and technical side of 5G, I can tell you unequivocally, 5G, here's the simplest explanation of all this stuff, okay? So every single signal that has ever been received by any cellular telephone is a radio wave. It's just at a different frequency. Okay. And all of the G's, all of the generations involve a band of frequencies, which the FCC auctions off yearly. And all of the telecos bid bajillions of dollars to buy that bandwidth so that they are exclusively broadcasting on that bandwidth to their customers. That's how our calls go from our magic box through the airwaves to our nearest tower. And then from that tower, it's broadcast over to the tower of the recipient like that through servers, okay, and magic and programming, right? So 5G Got a lot of fucking weird sauce conspiracy theories. It's just another set of bandwidth, okay, that involves two major things. If you're a part of T-Mobile, a very low bandwidth, okay, in the 600 megahertz band, and then the ultra 5G, which is very, very tiny and it travels super fast, but it can only travel short distances, which is why they set up all the little mini dishes around urban areas to give you that, super fast capacity, right? So T-Mobile did it right. They built the pyramid from the bottom up instead of from the top down like AT&T and Verizon did, because their 5G isn't even fully activated yet in everywhere, because they still don't have the lower bands, because they didn't buy that stuff because they were like, fuck the lower bands. We don't need it. And T-Mobile's like, we're going to get this shit because it's hella cheap. And now our signal's stronger than all y'all's. So that's how that works. It's just another radio wave, and the antenna inside the phone pick up that radio wave. Now, something else happened in 2022, which was all telcos turned off their first, second, and third gen G, right? That G just stands for generation, broadcasting. That is why if you have a super old phone, it doesn't make or receive calls like hardly at all. And you're not getting your text messages because those wave bands, okay, your antenna is not sensitive enough to pick up your phone calls or messages, because your antenna only includes like 1 or 2 4G bands. And so your signal is constantly crappy. So for all you people who think, well, it's just a conspiracy theory, so I can upgrade and so Apple makes money. Kind of yes, kind of no. The antenna, for example, this is my iPhone 15 Pro, and this is an iPhone 16 Pro. Now, I have these two sitting right next to each other right now. This one has 3 bars. This one has also 3 bars. Yeah. So, this has slightly more antennas. It gets better satellite reception than this one, but this one is also satellite capable. So, it just depends. It just depends. Listen, I'll do a technology rant another time. But the 5G thing really irks me, because I had customers who were like, oh, I'm definitely not upgrading my phone. I'm going to stay on this 3G phone. I'm like, sir, your phone's going to stop working. Like, I'm trying to tell you, it's going to cease to work. Like, it will no longer, you're just going to have a brick in your hand. It's useless. We'll see about that. And then they call back like a month later. I want the free phone. Well, sir, that deal's gone now. Yeah. So anyway, there's that. Apparently the Dems are also on the Labiqua train. Biden signed a bill blocking healthcare for underage trans youth. Yep. Yeah. Please support Earth justice in the U.S. The best climate change lawyers will be needed as the Weinbach gets underwater. Yeah. As it gets underway. Yes. Computer says no as far as staying in the outer space. Yeah, of course not. Oh, you're a ham radio guy? Bro, I gotta pick your brain here, Aubrey, because I want to get into that, because I think we're all maybe gonna need one soon. Yeah. All right. Let's get to your questions. If your spaceship is doomed to crash, who do you want on it? I bet that's a different group. I don't want anybody on it. I want to go down like Captain Kirk's dad, in the first brand new Star Trek. He got all his crew off and he saved them and he saved space time. That's my answer. Isn't space supposed to be neutral? Apparently it's not Switzerland anymore, Aubrey. Apparently not. Have I seen that Elon is blocking people on Twitter who are MAGA and angry at him for wanting to hire engineers from India because Americans are too dumb? No, but I love it. Yeah. I mean, also Trump had his whole, someone suggested that Elon was going to be a shadow president, and Trump had like a whole fucking, geriatric temper tantrum. I'm the president. Elon is not the president. I'm the president. Like he just like lost his literal shit. about that. So yeah, it's going to be, guys, this is going to be a wild, wild ride coming up. Oh, you're a Metro guy. Bro, Metro's awesome. There's nothing, you're on Metro. I would listen, if you're just using your phone, and this is a hot tip, okay? If you're just using your phone to communicate and you're not, it's literally, you're like, I just want a flip phone. I just want to talk to people. I don't even text. I don't do any of that stuff. Literally buy whatever phone you want and switch to Mint Mobile. It also runs on T-Mobile's networks. It gets the same network speed as Metro by T-Mobile. Okay. And you can put any phone you want on there. But it's way cheaper. It's way cheaper because it's prepaid, like true prepaid, right? You're going to get the same speed and everything else because you still have the data cap at 50 gigs. So if you're not using more than 50 gigs, you're fine. But also realize, okay, if you ever, if you're on prepaid or Metro or like, what are all the other ones? Boost Mobile, Cricket, all these things, okay? All these third party that are not AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile, okay? Understand this, that when you are in a high traffic area, you're downtown, you're at a sporting event, any one of those things, your data is automatically back at like 3G speed, okay? Because you are not a priority on the network at all. People who pay the premium price get premium data, which means that they want to go on YouTube, they're going to get there before you. Your shit's going to be loading a long time. So when you pay for the cheaper chicken, you get the cheaper chicken. Okay. And I've been doing an experiment because I was paying like way too much money for my T-Mobile bill. And so I decided to put a couple of my kids who weren't using their phones as much, on Mint Mobile. And the data and everything else has been fine, like literally. And the reception's fine. So that's my recommendation. And they often run specials where you get 3 months for the price of 1 month. So like 3 months is like $20 or something insane. Yeah. So I'm not getting paid. This is not a sponsorship, but Mint, call me. Ryan, call me. Yeah, for sure. So guys, we'll, tomorrow, I'm going to try and do another show this weekend. I have to figure out if that's going to be Saturday or Sunday, most likely Sunday. But we got to keep digging into this, guys. We are now on page, 93, guys. We did 4 pages today. Proud of us. I'm proud of us. We're on page 93 out of 922. Oh my God, I got to read faster or something. I don't know. But this today was ridiculous. Also, guys, I don't know why it says through December 1st, but I'll fix that on the website here. But the sale is still on through New Year's. If you guys want to get, some swag. Thank you to those who have ordered. I'm going to send you out a special video thank you just from me to you. But yeah, people have bought some more. ohnomerica has made it across the pond. Get in on the stuff, guys. It's 15% off right now. All right. And if Ryan Randall calls me, I'll be so surprised. I would be shocked. And don't forget, guys, if you tune into me on my other channels, I'm doing 2 streams today on What's Up with Nora. Oh, thank you, Cher. Thank you for ordering those shirts. Coming up here at 3:30 is going to be one. And then 6 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be on with Laura Anderson. And we're going to be talking about the man that MD Media 18 came across, at the Scientology building there. So if you guys want to tune in, I'll be back in about 45 minutes on What's Up with Nora. And then I'll be back again at 6 p.m. So let's dig into it. Thank you guys so much. If you're on the replay, thank you for watching on the replay. Guys, also, just as just to let you guys know where we're at, because, sometimes you guys are curious. Here's where we're at on the march to monetization. So we're at 649 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. Guys, look at this. I can't make this number up. 2,666 public watch hours out of 3,000. We are almost there. We are almost there. 334 hours to go. So I'll definitely be pumping out some more stuff. But I'll see y'all in a bit on my other channel. If you are so inclined to join me there, I would much appreciate that. Otherwise, I will see you next time that I'm here with more Project 2025. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No Merica. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and giving you a little sparkle of MERICA. Thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping things cool, chill. And if you guys want some of that sweet, sweet merch, hit us up at ohnomerica.com.
You'll find